Okay, everybody, I wanted to share with you a speech that I did on December 5th, 2024. This speech was to the Virginia Department of Health. It was their quarterly meeting. You only have 2 minutes to speak at that meeting, so I made it short and sweet. I said, "Good morning. According to the Code of Virginia 32.1-170 titled Regulations, this board governs waterworks, water supplies, and pure water. The code states the following: 32.1-170 regulations. The regulations of this board governing waterworks, water supplies, and pure water shall be designed to protect the public health and promote the public welfare, and shall include criteria and procedures to accomplish these purposes." Being that the Code of Virginia says that the board shall protect the public health, and in light of the recent ruling by a federal judge who deemed that water fluoridation poses an unreasonable risk to the health of children, I ask you, the Virginia Department of Health, will you change and update the so-called criteria and procedures to reflect the current available evidence and science that water fluoridation is in fact unsafe, or at bare minimum, stop recommending to add this neurotoxin called fluoride into the public drinking water? I go on to say, additionally, due to the neuropsychiatric risks associated with fluoride exposure, particularly in pregnant women and children, and the wide availability of alternative sources of fluoride for dental health, the Florida State Surgeon General recommends against community water fluoridation, and I hope that you will too. And I included a handout that they put on the record, and I mentioned that in December 4th, 2024, Naples City Council has voted to remove fluoride from its water supply. Now, we know that the entire state of Florida has banned water fluoridation because it's damaging to children. It's damaging to everybody, and they recognize that informed consent is very important, right? We should all have the choice as to what we ingest, right? We should be able to choose that for ourselves. I want to share with you something that I sent to a friend today. And just as a reminder, I said the County of Henrico has said that they have no documents for the purpose or justification of this contaminant that they are deliberately adding to the community drinking water. Virginia requires pure water, and I included the definition. Pure water means water fit for human consumption that is sanitary and normally free of minerals, organic substances, and toxic agents in excess of reasonable amounts, and adequate in quantity and quality for the minimum health requirements of the person served. Now, it's interesting because Virginia Department of Health likes to call fluoride a mineral. The EPA actually calls fluoride a contaminant. Hydrofluorosilicic acid is a toxic agent. It says that on the package. So when you're required under Virginia state law to have pure water. So to me, it would seem that when Henrico County, as well as the city of Richmond, is deliberately adding in a contaminant that is toxic, it would seem to me that this would go against the Virginia state law. especially given the fact that Henrico has no documents to support the purpose or justification of this, nor do they have an ordinance. So I think that the word for it is ultra vires, meaning you don't have the authority to be doing what you're doing. I then go on to say, why is the county adding this contaminant slash mineral discharge medication additive waste byproduct? This is a liability for all that are involved, including the county as a whole. So I would encourage Henrico County, as well as the city of Richmond, and anybody else, any other locality, of course, to stop deliberately contaminating the drinking water. It really should be a my body, my choice when it comes to ingesting a contaminant, or if VDH wants to call it a mineral. This mineral is not a nutrient. So we should have the choice, in my opinion. And localities are getting rid of it. I saw 6 localities so far just in this week that has removed artificial fluoridation. They don't like the liability, they don't like the cost of it, nothing. So, anyhow, I just thought I would share that with you. This was the second speech I did, and it was to, like I said, the Virginia Department of Health quarterly meeting. It was interesting because Virginia Department of Health, upon information and belief, contacted Virginia Health Catalyst to come speak behind me to say how great fluoride is. And this particular individual doesn't even know how fluoride works when you ingest it. It's very narrow-minded to only think about the teeth when it comes to this and not think about the brain or the thyroid. I've mentioned in the past that CDC, it has acknowledged since 1999 that the predominant benefit of fluoride is topical, and that there's little to no effect when you ingest it. So we do have the ability to protect our teeth and our brains. So this is not a decision that our government should be making for us. They shouldn't decide that we should be ingesting this. They shouldn't be deciding this for us. They have no right to decide what type of risks I should make. And I'll say this because I keep hearing this argument come up, that they put fluoride in the drinking water for the poor people, right? Because the poor people need this. This is worse on the poor people because they can't afford to go out and buy distilled water. And poor people usually are more malnourished, which means that it's harder for them to deal with the toxic effects of fluoride. So yeah, this isn't proper to be shoving this down poor people's throat. It isn't. No, I've never seen in history where people force medications or minerals or whatever you want to call it, additives on the people. Those folks have never been on the right side of history. Never, not by any stretch of the imagination. So, okay guys, that is all for today. So, thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time. Bye.